Hello, students of the City Business School in Moscow. I hope you're very well today and looking forward to this webinar. I'm going to be talking to you today about goal setting, and I'm going to be sharing with you the benefits of goal setting and also some models to help you with your goal setting. But first, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Deborah Labbate, and I'm based in the UK. I've been a business owner since the 1980s. My first business was a car rental company, and then I moved into various petrol station locations and then into car body repairs. I no longer have any of these businesses. I've exited from all of them successfully, and I now work with other business owners on things around operational efficiencies and very much about communication and about business owners getting the best from themselves and also from their management teams. So that's what I do on a daily basis. I guess you could call me a consultant. So, to the goal setting. What are goals and why have them? A goal is a target to aim for, something that when achieved will enhance your life in some way. It is a positive intent, something you are absolutely committed to, and something which you will work towards by taking daily action. And the daily action really is the key to goal setting. Can you imagine a football match that had no goalposts or nets, or a race that had no finish line? Simplistic perhaps, but it wouldn't work, would it? Without the goals or the finish line, the purpose of the match or race is completely negated. Without goals, your life purpose and your direction is the same, or at the very least, it's extremely diluted. So goals quite simply are what we want to be, what we want to do, and what we want to have, which at this point in time, we are not, or we are not doing, or we do not have. As a personal exercise, create your own wish list. Write down absolutely everything you want to be, you want to do, and you want to have. And at this point of writing, don't judge, just write. Write down everything that you can think of. Maybe give yourself around 10 minutes to do this initial exercise, and then revisit it and add to it, adding to the list over the next 24, 48 hours as things occur to you. At this point, don't cross anything off. Some areas you might like to consider: travel, finances, learning, home life, health, relationships, career or business, community, adventures, personal comfort, spirituality, personal development perhaps. Add anything else that you can think of. Now here's a thought for you. How many people spend 50 weeks a year planning their 2-week vacation, yet give little or no thought to planning their lives? I think you can think of quite a few people that do that. If you're following the slides that accompany this webinar, you'll see a quote at the start. And the quote says, a man with a goal is a man or a woman without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. Each will drift and not drive. Each will end up on the beaches of despair, defeat, and despondency. And that's a quote from a gentleman called Zig Ziglar. I've read a lot of his books and been very inspired by a lot of what those books have taught me. So without goals, you can drift through life, effectively giving up control and therefore allowing other people or outside events to shape your future. This in turn can lead to frustration, anger, stress, and even depression. While many people have goals relating to their work, maybe these are even targets set for you by others, few spend time setting goals on all the other areas of their life. And I think it's really important to have balance. So you need goals for all the areas of your life. Some people have goals associated with having material possessions, for example, a certain type of house, lots more money, a sports car, designer clothes, etc. For people who are not motivated by such possessions, the mere idea of goal setting can put them in a conflict because they may not realize goal setting is holistic, covering all elements of life. As I just said, it's all about getting the balance. There's nothing wrong with material goals, of course, but in order to have a balanced life, goals need to be set in all areas. For example, career or business, family and friends, spiritual health and well-being, financial recreation, significant other, and the physical environment that you live or work in. These are all areas that if you have goals in all of those areas will give you some balance. Now, there's power in writing down your goals. We have an understanding about the power of setting goals. Writing them down is really, really important. You may well have seen statistics that connect goal setting to success in your business life or your career or your personal life. And I'm sure if I asked you today what your goals are, you could rattle off a few quite quickly of your wants and your hopes and your dreams without giving it too much thought or taking very long. However, what many people don't realize is that the power of goal setting lies in the writing down of those goals. Committing your goals to paper and reviewing them regularly gives you a 95% higher chance of achieving your desired outcomes. So this has been very, very well documented, and you can find this research in all sorts of places. Studies have shown that only 3 to 5% of people in the world have written goals, and those same 3 to 5% also have the success in business and have earned considerable wealth. So it's worth modeling these successful people. Simply put, then, goals are clear targets that are attached to a specific time frame and an action plan. They focus your efforts and they drive your motivation in a clear direction. Goals are different from dreams in that they outline a plan of action, while dreams are purely a conceptual vision of your wish or desired outcome. But goals require work. Work on yourself, work for your business, and work for others. You cannot achieve a goal, no matter how badly you want it, without being prepared to make a considerable effort. If you are ready to invest your time and energy, goals will help you to realize a dream or a wish for your personal life, your business life, or your career. Make a change in your life, add positive or remove negative. Improve your skills and performance ability. And start or change a habit. That could be positive or negative. So as I've said, setting goals and committing them to paper is the most effective way to cultivate success. The most important reason to set a goal is to attach a clear action plan to a desired outcome. Goals help focus our time and energy on one or several key outcomes at a time. Many business owners have hundreds of ideas whirring around their heads at any one time, on top of all the daily responsibilities they have. But writing down and focusing on a few ideas at a time, you can prioritize and concentrate your efforts, avoid being stretched too thin, and produce greater results. Since goals attach action to outcome, goals can help break down big dreams into manageable and achievable sections. Creating a multi-goal strategy will put a roadmap in place to help you get your desired outcome. Success doesn't happen by itself. It is the result of consistent and committed action by an individual who is driven to achieving something. Success, of course, means something different for everyone, and you'll know what success means to you. So because of that, creating goals is a personal endeavor. Goals can be large and small, personal and public, financial and spiritual. It's not the size of the goal that matters. What matters is that you write the goal down and you commit to making the effort required to achieve it. And what happens when you achieve a goal? Well, you should congratulate yourself. And if it's something you're doing with a team, you should congratulate them too if that's relevant. Of course you should. Reward every achievement. This trains your mind to associate hard work with reward. You should also ask yourself if your achievement can be taken to the next level, or if your goal can be stretched by building on the effort you've already made. Consistently setting new and higher targets will lay the framework for constant improvement in your personal and professional growth. Again, if you're following the slides, you'll see a personal exercise, and I recommend that you do this. You can take a snapshot of where you are today, where you were maybe 3 years ago, and where you want to be in the 3 years to come. There's some headings there for you, and of course you can add your own. Now to the power of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between truth and fantasy, or right and wrong. It accepts verbal input as absolute truth, regardless of the reality. It repeats and replays the commands that we give it. All we need to do, therefore, is convince it that our desire already exists. There are many books relating to the power of the human mind, and here is not the place to explore the subject in depth. There really isn't time to do that today, so maybe that will come with a later webinar. Although I would encourage you to do some research for yourself so that you have a better understanding of how your subconscious mind works. By harnessing the enormous power of the mind, we can really reach our full potential. It's been estimated that the average person has between 30,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Now, please understand that every thought you have is either moving you towards your goal and who you want to become, or it moves you away from them. There is no neutral position, and every thought counts. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will accommodate and germinate any seed you consistently plant there, be that positive or negative. So be mindful of what you're planting. As they say in computer language, garbage in, garbage out. If negative seeds are planted consistently, negativity is what comes back. Happily, the same can be said for positive seeds. So get planting those positive seeds. If you plant positivity, that is definitely what you'll get back. The steps towards effective, positive, permanent change are simple, but that's not to say it's easy. It does require constant daily work. The human mind works within your own personal comfort zone, and unless you train it, it will continue to feed back what it always has and steer you in the direction that life has always gone. Feed your mind with the idea that what you desire already exists, and it will heighten your awareness to opportunities around you that are consistent with your goals. Attraction into your life circumstances, ideas, and events that harmonize with your most dominant self-talk then comes naturally. I'm just checking periodically for the emails that are coming through, because that's where my questions will come from for later on. And also it'll highlight to me if we're having any technical problems. Remember the saying, you become what you think about most of the time. So types of goals. We've established what goals are and why it's important to have them, but it's also important to have different types of goals. Why? Quite simply because we have different areas of our lives to balance, and some journeys take longer than others. For example, clearing clutter from your home, your office, your garage is a goal that will take no more than a few days, or one would hope so. Whereas leaving law school with a goal of becoming a QC, or a medical school with a goal of becoming a surgeon will take much longer. You get the idea, and I'm sure you'll have your own examples. The best way to consider a goal is as a short-term goal, which is maybe 1 to 3 months, a medium-term goal, say 3 months to a year, and a long-term goal, that's 1 year to 3 years. That's not to say that any goal which takes longer than 3 years is not to be considered. Of course it is. It's that longer-term vision that you're working towards, but reverse engineering that so you're at the right place at the right time along the journey so that you can achieve the ultimate goal is what's important. So you really need to think about your long-term vision for the future, because one day you'll arrive there, and unless you're working on shaping your future now, those goals and visions will always remain somewhere out there in the distance. These goals need to be chunked down into timeframes starting from today. So getting goals into plans of action. Working backwards from your 3-year target, establish what needs to be done in year 3, then year 2, and down to this year. From your list of what needs to be achieved this year, then break it down further in what needs to be done in the 4th quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 2nd quarter, and then in the next 3 months. And later on, we'll come on to daily planning. From this comes your weekly list, as I've just said, scheduling your daily tasks, write them in your weekly planner and in your goal journal, which I'll be talking about more later, and tick them off as they're accomplished. Ensure that your short-term goals are feeder goals to your medium-term goals, and likewise your medium-term goals are feeder goals to your longer-term goals. If you're not happy with the word goals, of course you can substitute it whenever you like. Maybe you want to call it a target. And goals can also be separated into go-up goals, give-up goals, and deficiency goals. So a little bit more to explain each of those. So go-up goals. These are primarily growth goals, something you wish to attain. A new job, perhaps, a promotion, personal development, studying new subjects. Again, you'll have your own ideas. In an ideal world, everyone would support you in these goals. But the sad fact is, your friends and family sometimes may try to prevent you from attaining your goals. They may have your best interests at heart, but sometimes your goals may affect them and they may have their own agenda. So you need to be wary of that. People who care for you tend to not want you to fail or get hurt. And they think you're doing a favour by saying such things as, oh, don't bother trying, then you won't have to deal with failure, or are you sure you want to do that? Remember, at the end of the day, if it's meant to be, it's up to you, it's up to me. Indeed, some so-called friends may deliberately wish to sabotage your efforts because they actually have a vested interest, their own agenda, as I've just mentioned, in keeping you where you are now. They could become jealous of you achieving the things that you set out to do, or perhaps couldn't cope with the dynamics of a friendship where you have clear boundaries and don't allow them to influence what you do anymore. Change like that can sometimes be hard to adjust to, but stick with it and you'll get there. And an awareness of this dynamic from our own perspective really does enable us to understand the impact. Another example, at work, if you were to share your goal of a promotion with a colleague, if they were also wanting to go for the same promotion, well, that could make life a little bit tricky. The moral is very simple. Be extremely selective about who you choose to share your up goals with. Share them with people who really have your best interests at heart and are willing to support you, help you, and motivate you in the achievement of your up goals. And then there's give up goals. These encompass things such as becoming a non-smoker, losing weight, reducing alcohol intake, basically giving something up and ridding yourself of a bad habit. It's a good idea to let everyone know your give up goals, or ideally find a friend who shares the goal with you so you can encourage each other. And then there's deficiency goals. Right. These are the ones that only become goals when something is taken away from you, or when you realize not having this has an extreme detrimental effect on your life. An ideal example of this is health, of course. Many people take their health for granted, eating and drinking exactly what they want, not taking supplements, medications, whatever they need, not exercising, not getting regular medical checkups. You'll have your own examples here. The attitude of, I'll start my fitness campaign tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. But then one day the heart attack comes, and assuming that you survive, health becomes number one priority. It never got a look in before. Right, I want to look now at 5 essential components of goal achievement. I'm sure you will have come across SMART goals if you haven't been introduced to goal setting previously. But it's used extensively and means that when setting goals, they should be specific, measurable, agreed or action orientated, realistic, and time phased. So that's SMART, SMART. Make each goal specific. Not I want to be richer, how much specifically? Not I want to lose weight, how much specifically, and so on. I want to end world hunger. That's not specific, whereas I see myself working for an international relief agency. That's now a more specific goal. Your goals need to be measurable. This is easy with goals such as weight loss or a financial goal. But I want to be a better salesperson is unquantifiable. What does better mean to you? An example could be, I am becoming a salesperson who will meet and exceed the target of 10% increase in the coming financial year. Now that's specific and that's measurable. Goals also need to be agreed or action orientated. If you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And if you don't take action, it will never happen. You also need to decide what goals are realistic. Realistic doesn't mean something you would ordinarily do. This is not a goal. If goals are not challenging, they don't stretch you. The feeling of achievement doesn't happen, and you can easily get bored. And when you feel bored, you're most likely to give up. However, if they are virtually impossible, you may become disheartened. Your perceived lack of progress, and you fulfill your own prophecy of, I never achieve my goals. So you need to be realistic, but you need to have a stretch. There's nothing to say that you can't be a millionaire, but to set a goal of being one by next Monday when you've only got £5 in your pocket today is not very, very realistic. Unless, of course, you're extremely lucky and you buy a lottery ticket that wins. But then that goal is not really in your control, is it? Likewise, if you're a 45-year-old man, you will never be the youngest person to run a mile in under 4 minutes, however fit you are. And someone's already done that anyway. You could, however, set a goal to run a mile 10 seconds faster than you have before. So you get the idea. Goals also need to be time phased. Basically, you need to put the dates next to when you want to have achieved your goal and the dates for the milestones along the way. Be careful, though, that the milestones do not become millstones around your neck. You need to make this realistic in the time that you have. These target dates also feed into what is to be done this month, this week, and today, and need to be written in your goal journal accordingly. Now we're going to have a look at the 12 elements of goal achievement. As well as all the elements we've already talked about, the following must also be incorporated. You need to be passionate about your goal, which must be personal. Live it, breathe it, taste it. Make it your magnificent obsession. You will have heard of Thomas Edison. He was passionate about finding a way to produce incandescent light with the use of electricity, and he didn't give up. It is reputed that he was once asked how he felt to have failed 700 times. His reply was, I haven't failed. I've just discovered 700 ways how not to do it. Now that's keeping a positive mental attitude. Always state your goals in the present tense and in the positive. I will give up smoking is neither. Giving up suggests the loss of something, regardless of whether it's healthy or not, and most smokers will on the whole claim categorically they enjoy smoking. I will also suggest some date sometime in the future. The subconscious mind disregards this because it only accepts the present tense and the information given in the present tense, and it doesn't know when to deliver it to you. You can affect subconscious change only by communicating in the language it understands, and that's the present tense. This comes from the theory of cognitive dissonance, which states that when you hold two psychologically inconsistent thoughts, you experience dissonance or a sense of tension and inharmonious feelings. The subconscious, in an attempt to reduce the discomfort of the conflicting messages, does everything it can to create the most recently imposed suggestion or self-talk. Using the present tense, you are stating to your subconscious mind to start working today. All the golden formula for goal setting agrees that your goals must be written down. Committing goals to paper and reviewing them regularly gives you a 95% higher chance of achieving your desired outcome. Studies have shown that only something like 3 to 5% of people in the world have written goals, and it's this same 3 to 5% who have achieved the most success and earned the most wealth. The other thing that you need to do in these 12 elements is to keep a goal journal. This should contain each of your goals, together with the reasons why you want them, and how they will feed your core values. Allocate at least one page for each goal and date it at the top. Record your process. If you record your process, this will show you where you started from, how far you've progressed, and where you still have to go. And this will help to keep you on track. You should set time aside every week to transfer your weekly and daily actions into your goal journal. This will keep you on track and keep you motivated when you realize just how far you've come. It's a good idea to choose a journal or a folder that evokes passion, something you want to use and handle regularly, something you feel really connected to. Writing goals simply on scraps of paper gives the message that you are somehow not that committed to your goal. They're not that important, and your subconscious will receive that message and act on it, or not, as the case may be. Review. That's the next step. Review your goals and progress regularly. You can write a summary of your goals on a goal card which you carry with you. Read your goal card every morning and every evening. If you do something regularly at the same time in the same way, it will soon become a habit. So allocate time for this daily review session. Think about your goals and see them in your mind as you read them. Revisit your goal journal each week and record the progress made. If during the week you've taken no action towards your goal, write nothing in big red letters. If you have done nothing for more than a week, it's time to question the validity of your goal and your commitment to it. As time goes on, you may find you need to update one or more of your goals. Your priorities may well change. Make the necessary adjustments in your goal journal. Of course, the best update session of all is when you've achieved that which you set out to do, and you can put a big tick next to it. You get a real sense of satisfaction from that. And it's time then to reward yourself and to replace that goal with a new one. These goals are your clear targets that are attached to a specific time frame and action plan. They focus your efforts, they drive your motivation in a clear direction. Goals are different from dreams in that they outline a plan of action, while dreams are a conceptual vision of your wish or desired outcome. Goals require work. Work on yourself, work on your business, and work for others. You cannot achieve your goal, no matter how badly you want it, without being prepared to make a considerable effort. I've got a question coming through. I'll pick the questions up a little later, if that's okay. If you are ready to invest your time and energy, goals will help you to realize a dream or a wish for your personal or business life, make a change in your life, add positive or remove negative, improve your skills and performance ability, and start or change a habit, positive or negative. So what happens when you achieve a goal? You should congratulate yourself, of course. By rewarding yourself after every achievement, you not only train your mind to associate hard work with reward, but you motivate yourself to achieve more. This goes for your teams too. So if you're working with a team and they have goals, you should reward them when they're achieved. You should also ask yourself if your achievement can be taken to the next level, or if your goal can be stretched by building on the effort you've already made. Consistently setting new and higher targets will lay the framework for constant improvement and personal and professional growth. Use the goal journal to record affirmations. And if you're using these, you'll be helping to retrain your subconscious mind. Affirmations are statements used to reprogram your subconscious mind, so do make them. They need to be positive. As the mind thinks in pictures, it has difficulty processing a negatively stated goal. It's not possible for the mind to picture you not doing something. And by using positive affirmations, you shift the mind from concentrating on what you don't want to what you do want. Emotion provoking. The more feeling you blend with your self-talk, the faster it impacts your subconscious. Use words you wouldn't ordinarily use: passionate, bold, and fun. That'll pique the interest of your subconscious mind. Make the affirmations emotionally relevant to you. And use the present tense. The language of your subconscious mind understands the present tense. It doesn't understand or acknowledge the past or the future. Speak its language and it will understand. Tell it consistently and it will act. Feed it with the idea that the condition you desire already exists. The most powerful words in the English language come after the words I am. Using ing words such as receiving, deserving, acquiring, these are verbs conjugated in the present, suggesting that it is actually already happening at this very moment. Now is another good word to emphasize the present tense. Make it personal. Affirmations that you create for yourself, these are personal. Until you get used to the language, by all means, you can borrow affirmations from elsewhere. and then you can edit them and personalize them later, just while you're getting used to it. Just as reviewing your goal card daily will make it a habit, you need to get into the habit of saying your affirmations daily. The more you feed your subconscious mind, the quicker it gets the message and starts to work in alignment with your goals. Use something you do every day as your trigger to repeat your affirmations. For example, when you're taking your morning shower, whilst shaving, whilst making your morning coffee or the children's sandwiches for school, etc. You know what your daily routine is, so find out what works for you, but you must do this. Your mind responds to sensory input. If you say them out loud, sing them, stand in front of the mirror, maintain eye contact with yourself while saying them, write them down as you say them, make a recording and play it in your car. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Your unconscious mind will start paying attention. Experiment and play with this and find the ideal mix for you. Whatever you choose to do to reprogram your subconscious software, you need to be repeating affirmations at least 50 times a day. As your mind primarily thinks in pictures, use visualizations too. We're all capable of daydreaming, using our imagination to conjure up pictures of what we'd like. For example, that date with the person we haven't yet had the courage to ask out, driving a brand new car, laying on a beach somewhere. Again, you'll have your own daydreams. When you know specifically what your goals are, take time to picture precisely what you want. Make your vision crisp, colourful, detailed, and big as possible in your mind. Add the sounds, the smells, the feelings associated with the vision. Engage all your senses. If you have a goal, for example, for a new car, go and take one for a test drive so that you can really visualize it. You can smell the leather, see the walnut dashboard if that's what your dream is. Feel the response as you accelerate. Really get in touch with that vision. And you need to be specific. For example, sticking with the car theme, visualize a navy blue convertible Jaguar with cream leather interior and alloy wheels, not just a new car. You get the idea. And you'll have your own examples. So use one of your own. Once again, make visualization a daily habit. Have a specific time and place to totally relax and take yourself into your vision. Also, throughout the day, take time to daydream. As well as writing in your goal journal, you can create a treasure map or a vision board. This is a visual representation of what you want to attract into your life. If, for example, you want to move into your ideal house, cut pictures out of magazines of exactly what sort of house you want, or use photographs, the sort of garden you want, pictures from interior design magazines for the type of kitchen, bathroom, etc. you want. Or you can use websites like Pinterest. There's lots of inspiration out there to take from. Use visual reminders of the amount of money you need to make this dream a reality. Keep your treasure map or vision board in view so you'll see it constantly. Another one of the 12 elements is to enlist the support of people who can help you achieve. Now, this could be working with a coach or buddying up with like-minded friends to meet regularly for update sessions and to keep each other on track, encourage each other and celebrate together. There really is a lot to be said for having an accountability partner. And you also need to establish what skills you need to acquire. What do you need to be doing to become the person who will achieve your goals? Do you need to enroll on a course or take some training? What books do you need to read? Which seminars will you need to attend, or networking groups perhaps you need to join? And what advice do you need to seek, etc.? Bearing in mind you are now telling your subconscious mind that you are already in possession of your desires by the daily use of affirmations, visualizations, treasure maps or vision boards, and always using the present tense, it's time to act as if. This is another one of the 12 elements. Acting as if. This basically means acting in a fashion that presents to yourself and the outside world that you are already the person you wish to become. Now, this doesn't mean deceiving people, doing anything illegal or getting into debt by borrowing money to buy that dream car or house, or running up a credit card bill buying designer clothes if you don't have the wherewithal to make the repayments. I'm not suggesting that at all. It means acting confidently when meeting new people. Maybe using a quality pen rather than a biro, using your money to buy one good quality designer suit instead of cheap clothing, or having a quality, well-designed business card. The things that the person you want to be would have. And you need to truly believe you are already successful before success can become yours. Instead of the old saying, I believe it when I see it, change it to, I'll see it when I believe it. If you don't seriously believe, then you will sabotage your own efforts. When you think as a successful person thinks, act as a successful person acts, and believe you are successful, then you are sure, and then you can be as sure as the sun will set and the moon will rise that you will become successful. And don't forget to reward yourself along the way to achieving your main goal. Reward yourself for those steps along the way. That'll keep you motivated. Your goal journal will show you how far you've come, and it's up to you what the milestones are and what the type of reward is. If you're halfway to your ideal weight, for example, going out for a slap-up meal is probably not how you'd celebrate. But going to the theatre or buying yourself something new could be. It's entirely up to you. The important thing is you reward yourself. This part of the process must not be missed out. It's what keeps you going when things get tough, and it's what makes it fun. Now I want to talk to you about the importance of values-based goals. No goal will give you true fulfillment unless it's congruent with your personal values. It's imperative that you establish your hierarchy of values before contemplating goal setting in the relevant areas of your life. There are many books and workshops on goal setting, and you may have your preferred method. However, for me, establishing core values is really the first step before goal setting. It's been well documented that you must intensely desire that which you seek, i.e. love it, because you will automatically attract to you that which you love. It is impossible to desire something strongly that is not congruent with your basic values in life, as you cannot love that which you do not value. Let me give you an example to try and illustrate that. Think of a salesperson who lists family as the top of their values list and health as their second top value. They have a goal of being the top salesperson in their field, earning, say, £200,000 a year. In order to achieve the goal, they choose to travel for 10 months of the year, working 14-hour days, eating fast food for lunch and business dinners with clients in the evening. When they're at home, they play golf with their MD, and the rest of the time they sleep or they watch TV. So what conflict exists here? Stephen Covey's quote comes to mind: climbing to the top of the ladder of success, then realizing it's leaning against the wrong wall. That's definitely what comes to my mind. So I highly recommend you establish your 8 core values before you get seriously into goal setting. I'm now going to take you through the model of pathway, the pathway to goal achievement. Again, if you're following the slides, you'll see an image of that. So the first P is purpose. To live your life with purpose means having goals that are congruent with your values, goals you are absolutely passionate about, your magnificent obsessions, if you will. That's the P of pathway. The A is attitude. Everything you do with what you say in your self-talk, your affirmations, replacing limiting beliefs with positive belief statements. This is where your attitude comes in. And then to the T, which is for trust. You must first believe before you can become. So trust in the universe, in God, whoever that is to you, your higher self, and your ability to succeed. And the H is for honesty. Be totally honest with yourself. Now, I know that can be hard sometimes, but you really do need to do it. Do you really want this? And are you prepared to do all that is necessary? Are you being realistic with your time frames? Is this goal really yours, or is it someone else's? You must continue to work on your self-awareness on an ongoing basis. If you've done nothing towards your goal for more than a week, is it still a valid goal? This is the question you need to ask yourself, and you need to be really honest. And then we have the way forward. So there's the action plan. Establish the hierarchy of your values. Establish areas in your life to set goals, short-term, medium-term, and long-term ones. Create your wish list, start your goal journal, write down your goals, and remember, present tense, positive, specific. Create your goal cards and create your affirmations. Use visualization techniques daily. Create your treasure maps or vision boards. Chunk down what needs to be done daily, weekly, monthly. Review your goals every day. Update your goal journal weekly. And set aside time each week to transfer your daily actions for the following week into your planner. Enlist the support required. Decide what knowledge you need to acquire, and decide what character traits you need to develop. And then we have A for action. As in the advertising slogan for Nike, just do it. All the planning in the world will not get you to achieve your goals unless you take consistent action in accordance with your plan. This is consistent use of your affirmations, visualizations, review structures, weekly sessions with your coach or goal buddy or accountability partner, and acting as if every little step you build on the last will create the cumulative growth effect until before you realize it, you're taking great strides. It has been said we can overestimate what we can achieve in a year and underestimate what we can achieve in a decade. And you deserve it. Don't forget to reward yourself for your achievements, set milestones along the way, and celebrate. So, just ahead of questions and in conclusion, you have the ability to achieve all you could possibly want to be, do, or have. Remember that in order to have, you must first do. You must do something. And in order to do something, you must first become the person to whom success comes naturally. Simply put, a goal is a dream with a date on it. Don't let fear get in the way of dreaming big. And I'll end with a great quote from Nelson Mandela. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? And now I'll go to the questions. So if you just bear with me while I check in with the system for the questions. And we'll see how many we've got. And I will do my best to answer them, of course. Right. First question. Can I set a goal and reach the aim if I know that it is almost impossible to reach it? Well, I've covered this, haven't I? It depends what makes it impossible. Is it your belief that it's impossible, or is it genuinely impossible? So you have to take a look at the reality around that. Can visualization and meditation have strong influence on dreams to come true? Absolutely. If you can visualize it, you're halfway there, really. And meditation is good. It will settle your mind and create a space for peace and quiet where you can, when you empty your mind, you think much more clearly. So yes, meditation can definitely help, but I cannot advocate visualization enough. The next question, is it difficult to set a goal if you do not know the details of the expected result? I mean that the goal is not clear. Yes, then it is difficult. So you really do need to get clear on the goal. You need to absolutely understand what the end game is and then reverse engineer it for the steps to get there. Can we set goals orally? We can, but I really don't think they carry the same weight as writing them down. And as I've explained throughout the webinar, writing them down is key. How you share them and who you share them with is also key. If writing is necessary, can I type the goal in my computer instead of writing it down on paper? Now, that is a brilliant question. Now, I feel quite passionate about this, actually. there is research, which I can't put my finger on just at this precise moment, that there is some engagement between picking up the pen and writing it on paper and what goes on in your subconscious mind. I have had example after example for myself when I've written things down in an evening and I've gone to bed, I've gone to sleep, and I've woke up in the morning with either answers or better ideas. And it's like your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind works on it while you're sleeping. If you feed it the right information, that will happen. Now, we're in a very IT dominated world, and we all use computers and iPhones and tablets and a whole host of those technical things. And they do have their place, and they do definitely have value. You could experiment for yourself. We're all different in how we like to learn and progress. So experiment with it. But I do totally believe that committing to paper has a stronger impact, and that's what I advocate, and that's what I do. And the next question is, do I need to have any special character features to set goals correctly? For example, to be a leader or to be ambitious? Well, I think, yes, you do. And you can model people who are already doing the things you want to do so that you can pick up what those character features or character traits are. And you can practice them and you can learn them. But we're all special and we all have our unique things that we bring to this and to goal setting and to our success. I think we can all achieve. And it's exactly as the quote that I just read out towards the end there says, who are we not to be that person? So we're fast approaching the end of our time together here. I hope that's answered some of your questions. I'm just checking if there's any more coming through. Oh, yes, there is one more question. I love it when I get the subject line that says one more question, so I know exactly what it is. So thank you very much for that, Irene. Sometimes I see that the more efforts I have to achieve the aim, the farther it becomes. Why is it so? Let me just read that again. Sometimes I see the more efforts I have to achieve the aim, the further it becomes. Why is it so? Oh, interesting question. I think sometimes we do have to reevaluate our goals and reevaluate our progress and see what's happening. Because as we've made some progress along the way, I think it could be that the goal, it seems further away, but maybe it's just got bigger because you've got more confident. Maybe that's part of it. Or on the negative side of that, maybe it's because when it was set in the first place, it wasn't a SMART goal. So it wasn't specific. It wasn't measurable. It wasn't realistic. You go back through the SMART model and just check your goals back to that. If you do that whenever you need to, just to make sure that you're on track. And don't be disheartened. Sometimes obstacles do come up along the way and they set us off track. But going back to the written plan and the written goals, when you have that, you can get back to it and that will put you back on track and keep you on track. But despite your best efforts, life will continue to happen and can sometimes throw you a curveball and set you off on the different track or the wrong track or somebody else's track. But when you go back and check in with your journal, you can get yourself back on track much more quickly, I believe, when you have those things written down. So the objective at the beginning was to share with you the benefits of goal setting and to give you a couple of models to help you with that process. So I hope my goal for this session has been achieved. I've given you quite a lot of information there. So if you're listening along and you have the slides as a bit of a aid memoir, hopefully that will help you. So I will wish you a good afternoon and I'll see you on the next webinar. Thank you very much.